spread my word in public forums. I would do just about anything for him. Defend you from all enemies, domestic and foreign. Tyranny is not only reigning, but in fact you know it's pouring out. Injustice is ignoring. All the people are left torn. It's not so easy in this world to see the devils without horns. But let's face it, time is wasted, tails are chased without reform. So don't vote them fuckers in. Show them all the door. Not just talking about Republicans, but all of them, of course.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Open Sight here. And I just wanted to show you guys, this is a Savage Rascal, okay? This is a youth gun. And I'm showing this to you guys. I realize a lot of people out there, you know, have kids, want to get your, there's a lot of new shooters out there in general. Older people who have just, you know, by older I mean you're 20, 19, you know, I don't mean senior citizens. I just mean not kids. And, you know, you want to get your, you know, into shooting. I'm getting ahead of myself, getting a little mixed up. Yeah, you want to get into shooting, and, you know, there's a lot of new people to the sport, and that's awesome. And that's really cool. And with that, they want to get their families into shooting, their children. You know, it's almost like a fad now. You see videos of little kids shooting, like 5, 6, 7-year-olds, little boys and girls, and it's cool. You know, I'm not complaining. You know, I think the more the merrier. You know, as long as we're all being responsible and smart and everything, I think it's great. As long as we're doing justice to the sport, right? We're bringing good media attention. We're being safe, right? So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys a great option for shooting your kid, for shooting your kid. Yeah, great option for shooting your kid. A great option for showing your kid how to shoot. But not only that, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here. But I got this for my son for his birthday, for his 3rd birthday. I think a 3-year-old is too young for a gun, but it's kind of, I have 2 kids. One is 3 and one is 6. When my 6-year-old turned 3, I bought him a firearm. Not for him to learn how to shoot then at the time, but for him to learn to shoot eventually. You know, I just wanted to get it when I could get it. You know, I don't know what the future holds or whatever. We got fireworks going on outside. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. I don't know what the celebration is. It's not a holiday today unless I'm missing something. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, I got my 3-year-old gun on, I think it was his 3rd birthday, and so now my youngest son just turned 3, and I thought earlier in the year, you know, I should get him one for his 3rd birthday, kind of like a tradition, and they both will have had the gun at the same time. But I do think a 3-year-old is too little to shoot. On the other hand, my son who just turned 6, I bought him a Ruger 1022. He's just the right age to learn how to shoot. The problem that I had was the 1022. I bought it. It was a 1022 carbine. I put the youth size stock on it. I bought a aftermarket youth size stock. I put it on there. Actually, I have a video on that gun. And the problem is the stock isn't super lightweight, but it's not crazy heavy or anything. But the gun is still too large and heavy for him to shoot. There may be some smaller options for stocks out there, but I'm really not interested in that. He likes the stock that's on there. I like the stock that's on there. And when he's 8 or 9 or 10, that one will be perfect size for him. Okay, so in rolls the Savage Rascal. Okay, I bought it for my younger son, but really, you know, right away I saw the benefit. Well, you know, the 1022 is too heavy for my older son still. You know, why couldn't we just teach him on my younger son's gun, and they both could learn on the same gun? You know, basically, these are in my custody. They're in my control. They're not. I don't consider them to be mine. I consider them to be my children's, but they don't just get to have them. So, I mean, if I wanted to teach my older son how to shoot on this gun, who's gonna stop me? Is he gonna be mad about that? I don't know. So I got this thing a while ago. I've had it in hiding so the kids didn't know about it. And the day before my youngest son's 3rd birthday, I took my 6-year-old and I showed him. I said, "This is gonna be from me." I didn't want him to be like jealous or mad or anything, just because it was his birthday. But kids are sometimes. So I want him to know he was getting it, and not to be surprised if he was gonna be mad or whatever. I want him to work it out with me the day before and not at the birthday party. So I showed it to him. He wasn't mad or jealous at all. He's a great kid, so that was cool. But one thing that he did do is he loved this thing right from the start. He reacted to his brother getting this like he don't react to his own his 1022 that way. Like when I pull his 1022 out, he's not into guns. My older son, he really isn't. He's kind of like meh. Like I don't, at least at this point, and we're careful. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. We're careful about what we do, but I wouldn't worry too much about if I had a gun laying on the table if he was gonna pick it up and touch it. Now we don't do that, but I wouldn't be worried about it if I did, because he's not interested in them. He's just not. He hasn't really shown a lot of interest in wanting to go shooting or anything like that. That is until we got this. Now when he's seen this, he literally, my 6-year-old literally saw this, and he's not even into guns. I swear, he's my kid, but he's not into it. He saw this thing and he was like, "This gun is awesome," and he like lit up, and I was just like, "Oh wow, cool," and right then, whether my 3-year-old likes it or not, it was worth getting it right then. And then I showed him how it works, how the bolt action works and everything, and I have the drywall anchors. These little ones, I forget what number they are. They're like number 4 or 5 or 6, somewhere in that neighborhood. And you could use those like a snap cap. And I was letting him load those into the chamber, operating the bolt. And I was showing him how it works. And he could do it. And he had the little drywall anchors flying out of there, ejecting. And like within minutes, like he is operating it. He can't really do the safety. The safety on this gun is really stiff. And I'll show it right there. It's really stiff. Now, it's not too hard for me to do. And actually, I think it's breaking in a little bit. But neither one of my boys, probably my older son could if he really tried. But neither one of them can really do it smoothly. And I think that's good because I think the way that I would use the safety is, and I haven't taken either of them shooting yet, but I'll have them be on the range, have the safety on, load their round in there, and obviously my 3-year-old's got some years before he comes with us, but talking about my 6-year-old, have him load his round in there, have the safety on, and then I'll have him take aim, and then I'll take his safety off for him, at least at first. That's how we'll do it in the first place. But yeah, I'm not surprised that my 6-year-old loves this thing, okay? Because it really is awesome. And this is not an adult-sized gun that they just put a short stock on there and cut the barrel down. This is actually, the entire thing is downsized to a youth size. So the entire receiver and everything. But it's still well built. It's still a good product. The trigger on this thing is fantastic. That's why I have a drywall anchor in there right now, so that I can dry fire this thing. And I'm going to put it upside down so that you can see it. And this thing is there is no creep, no take up. You just pull the paddle, and I got the safety on, and this thing is ready to go. And it just, see that, and it is light. This trigger is the best trigger I have, period. Forget on a youth gun. It's the best one I have, period. I wish all of my guns had that trigger. It is nice. And let me reload this snap cap. I'm taking it out so that I can turn it around so that I don't dent the same spot twice. And I'm not really sure whether this gun is safe to dry fire anyways. But alright, so I'm going to push that paddle in, and yeah, it is light. And both of my kids, the 3-year-old, because then on his birthday right away, he was like super excited. And the funny thing was, I don't know, I never showed him one of these before, but he knew how to work it. He wanted to pull the bolts up and back, and we were like, no, like now's not the time. But then later in the day, I ended up showing him, and he can pull the trigger on and everything. It's not as easy for him, but he can do it. So that's just, for one, I guess that tells you better be careful with it, right? Don't leave any ammunition around your kids. But for two, it tells you how light of a trigger it is. It's very, very light. What else can I say? One other thing I think is really worth noting is the rear sight choice on this thing is excellent. I mean, it's a rear peep. It's got a little hole. I'm trying to show that here. And it's just excellent. And if I hold this like an M4 carbine, I can actually get my sights on it. When I bought this, the guy I bought it from, he was super talkative, really friendly gun shop from out of Hardwick, and that guy was super friendly. And he was saying that one of the guys that works for him, and he pointed him out, really tall guy, about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", and he said, he can, if he holds it, out in front of him like that, rather than like traditional rifle style like that, he can use the sights as well. And I find the same thing to be true. I'm just a hair shy of 6 foot, and I find the exact same thing to be true. And it's just excellent. I mean, a peep sight. Oh, and the other thing is, a lot of the youth guns, they have you have to cock them. You have to grab the I don't even know, whatever you want to call that back there, the little bell back there. You have to pull it back to cock the gun, and that's very difficult for children. This gun cocks just like a bolt action does. It's supposed to. It cocks when you lift it up. That just cocked the gun. I mean, you might have seen the trigger go forward there, and I just ejected my drywall anchor. But yeah, and there's no magazine, which I like that, because one thing, when I had got my other son the 1022, I made sure I went and bought a whole bunch of magazines for it, because sure, 1022s are super popular now, but I don't know what the political climate and how things will be, in 10, 15 years. And I didn't want to waste my money on buying a gun that he won't really be able to shoot. So I had to make sure I had to go and buy 5 magazines for him, that so that he could have magazines probably for as long as he would need them. This gun doesn't take a magazine, so on one hand, being a single shot, maybe you might see that as a disadvantage, but to me, I think for a hand-me-down gun, that's excellent. There's no magazine to break, to have to replace. Sure, it's a single shot, and you see the little red spring-loaded. That's a feed ramp in there. That's a spring-loaded feed ramp. And I tested it. It works well. And it feeds reliably. It's basically like as if there's a magazine there, but it's not. It's just a feed ramp. And I mean, to me, not having a magazine is a huge advantage for a hand-me-down gun. The only downside I'll say to this thing is that the stock on it is cheap plastic. It's nothing special. It's nothing to write home about. The kids really like it because, the colors, it's got a nice look to it. They do make it in a wood version. The wood version of this gun is a little bit more expensive. I didn't really like it. They had the wood one, and I picked it up and I held it, and it's a little fatter. First of all, the wood one. I didn't really notice it being a little heavier. I guess it is. But this one, I think for a kid is better. It's skinnier, but I think my sons at least really appreciate the colors. And now I have a problem, because now my 6-year-old, he wants one for Christmas. So I created a monster, because he loves this thing. So, I don't know if I'm going to get him another one or not. I guess I kind of am, because He's ready to go shooting now, and it kind of feels wrong taking my youngest son's gun to go teach my older son how to go shoot. I'm sure we will do that before he gets one of these of his own. But eventually, I guess I'll have to get him his own. But the other thing was, my wife didn't really check this thing out prior to my son's birthday. But after his birthday party, she picked it up and she was holding it and she was messing with it and messing with the trigger. And she was like, this is the kind of gun you should have started me out on, or whatever. Even though I did start her out on a 22, semi-automatic 22 though, but, and she liked the gun, she's not into guns, she doesn't want one, but she did like this one. The front sight is just, let me just show that, just, a blade with a kind of a circular shape, bump on the top of it, nothing special, but with the rear peep, it's easy to pick up. It's excellent. And actually, I've been for a while now on and off. I've been trying to explain to my son how to aim with sights. Like you got to take that. See those little notch in the back? You got to take that front post and stick it between the notch. And he hasn't gotten it. I haven't tried super hard to explain it to him. What I was planning on doing was going to draw a diagram for him. But when I got this for my younger son, and it's got the hole in the back, and he had put it on his cheek, I told him, look through the hole and put your target on the hole, and that's how you aim it. And for the first couple of days, that's how I told him. And he was doing that, and he was looking around. And then I told him, hey, do you see this thing in the front, this post in the front? Look at that through the hole, and then put that on your target. And he was able to do it, and now he knows how to aim. And the rear peep allowed him to do that. And now he was even explaining to he was telling my wife, like, she knows how to do it, but he didn't realize she knows how to do it. And he was actually telling her, so I know he understands it. He was telling her, look at that front blade, because my wife actually, she doesn't know how to aim with sights, but she's never used a peep sight before. So she was like, well, wait, what do I do? Look through this hole. And that's what initiated him saying, put that front blade on there. And then put that on your target. So, overall, I'm super impressed. The quality of the stock, I think, could be a little bit better. But then again, for a kid's gun, if they drop it or something, if it breaks, you're not going to be that upset. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. But as far as the metal parts go, the quality is really excellent. The bluing is decent. It's better than what you get. Like, I don't even know what that finish is on a 1022. It's like, I think they say it's bluing on the barrel because the receiver is aluminum on a 1022, but it doesn't really look like bluing. This is definitely bluing. I was comparing it to the bluing on a Marlin 22 I have, and it's not as nice looking, but it's decent. And otherwise, this is just an excellent gun. I highly recommend it. To be honest, this is what I was getting at. I was talking to the guy that I got it from. I might pick one of these up for myself. It's tiny, and I don't know if that will bother me in the long run. But right now, I don't care. And like I said, if I stand square to the target and put the gun in front of me, like an AR style, in a straight line to your target, square to your target, I can use the sights just fine, and I get my face on the cheek just fine. And having a single shot might seem like a disadvantage to some of you guys, but if you've never had a single shot, I've never had a single shot firearm before, but I got into shooting with airsoft guns, or not airsoft guns, air guns, like pellet rifles, and those are single shot, like the high powered pellet guns. And it's actually a lot of fun, and in a lot of ways it's more fun. I don't know, like going out with like a 1022 and just shooting or anything, but I'm kind of talking 22s here, and shooting, just unloading like a BX-25 magazine is a lot of fun. But I'll tell you what, something about having like one shot and you got to make it count, and you have like one shot and one target, it's kind of a tough target, and getting and taking your time and aiming. There's just something really. It doesn't seem like that would be cool, but it is when you go out and do it. There is something really cool about that and really fun about that. And if you've never done it before, I don't think you'd understand, because I think the common thing we think about is like, oh no, just going out there and shooting stuff up and having a blast. That's fun, but really, taking, putting the bolt back and putting the one round in there and pushing it forward and seeing it going in, and then taking your time and you're aiming at something, boom, and then you do it again, and maybe you try to do it as fast as you can. It really is really fun, and I definitely recommend it. And I definitely recommend this gun highly. I'm not a huge fan of Savage. I have a Savage 22 autoloader that is super picky about it. It breaks down like a nightmare, and it's very picky about the ammo that it wants. But this thing has totally redeemed Savage for me. I highly recommend it. It's a great gun. Thanks for watching.